Okay, so today we are going to discuss for each loop.
Yeah.
For each
Just
loop.
can you move that VK, that Skype thing? Thank you.
For each loop is another kind of loop. Okay, we discussed yesterday what loops? While loop, for loop, do while loop. Yes,
Yeah.
they were introduced in Java 5 in the same manner. This is a new technique in this. It also starts with the keyword for, like a normal for loop. So here what happens in here, instead of declaring and initializing a loop counter variable, you declare a variable that is the same type as the base type of the array, followed by a colon, which is then followed by the array name. So this loop is used for an array. Yes. So this is commonly used to iterate over an array or a collection of class. So what is the syntax of this for each loop? Syntax. Can you hear any music?
No.
Okay. So the syntax is for type. Here you put type of your variable. Okay. Yes. Type of your variable array. What in this block of code? This is your block of code. Yes.
Yeah.
Your statement or statements using the variable. Yes. The variable you have defined, you use it in here. So let's have some example in Eclipse. So it is the syntax is exactly the same. Okay. And this is equivalent to how you define. This looks similar to for, here you say int I equals 0. Yes. Normally it starts from 0. I is less than the array you are defining. Okay. And what is the length of this array? And it increments, so I plus plus. Here you have the curly bracket. In here your statement or your code come. So here defining type variable equal to array. Array you always put in this block. Okay. Square brackets. And statements or statement. Yes. Using the variable. Yes. So this is the syntax. So let's an example. So the example I will delete it. Okay. So yesterday we have discussed for loop. I have unnecessary deleted that stuff. Public static void main. Yes. This is your main method. Without the main method, your class is incomplete and you cannot execute the class. So in here, you are going to define your arrays. So let's define some array. Int marks you are going to get, and you are defining array in this block of code. Yes. So you put 25, 35, 43, 56, 65, 78, whatever 56. This is the array I have defined and there are some marks. Yes. So what we are going to do in here, we will use this for loop, means for each loop, and find out the highest number from this array, or the maximum marks. Okay, you can exactly do the same thing to find out the minimum marks. So that would be your homework. So you say int, this is the variable I am defining, so I'm using highest marks. What highest marks is the maximum marks? Yes, here you put minimum, it will find the minimum marks. Yes, maximum. So if there is an error, is saying say create method maximum int. So we will create a method. Okay, so if you see from the method maximum int is undefined, so you are using this integer, but this method is not there. Yes, so it's a system.print.ln, and you say highest mark. Okay, so here it will print the highest marks. So what is your variable? Your variable is highest marks. So it will print the highest underscore marks, not mark. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what we want to print. So as it need a method named maximum marks, we will create it. If you don't want to create yourself, you can go in here and just click in here. So it will create. Yes. You don't want to declare anywhere, so you can keep public static int maximum marks. Yes. So from there you can say, and it will return the maximum. So it is created, we will keep it, but we don't need it, or you can keep it. Okay. So what this method needs, you need to define one number. Yes. So we have already marked, so just put numbers. So we can have a variable different numbers. Int max marks. Yes. What would be the max marks? It will look in the numbers you have defined. Yes. Where it will look? The numbers you have defined. So here in this array, you are passing one value 0, it will compare and then it will find it out. So let's define this for each loop here, and this for each loop will help us. For int variable, it is a number. Yeah, so we are what we are going, this number we will compare with the numbers, and this will identify the highest number. So if greater than max marks. Yes. And here you have another max marks equals the number variable you have defined. Yes. What it will return? If you say it returns 0, it will put return 0, but it will what it will return? It will return the max marks. So you do this coding. So highest marks is 78. Yes. You put something in here. Put something in here. Now execute it. See, it found exactly the same thing. What you do, if you change it here minimum and here minimum, what it will do? It will
Let's get low.
identify the minimum number for you. Yes. So it has the limitations, this for each loop. For each loops are not appropriate when you want to modify the array. If the arrays are fixed, then in that case you will use, otherwise don't use it. The honest opinion of this array is, so far I have not used anywhere. This is just the class in that I have covered it.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. Bridges, can you scroll it up? I have a doubt to ask you. Why did we use here as a private static?
Private here, yes.
Yeah.
It is just I automatically created and it considered it private, considering that you will not access this method outside this class. Even if I put public, then I can use this method during the whole project, across the whole project. Okay, so when it created it, it considered it. You won't use this method outside anywhere. This is for this one. Yes,
Oh,
that's it. Do you want to go through another example?
yeah.
Let's go to another example. So whenever it is public, private, you need to remember those rules. These rules.
Yeah.
Yes. Private, you cannot access this anywhere. Just you can access this method in the specific class itself. Yes. You
Yeah.
can't access this method in a the same package, or if you have a subclass or the project globally. But if you put public, you can access it anywhere. So if you
Yeah.
want to keep a method which is specifically for the specific class or particular class, then you use it as private. Okay.
Yeah.
Otherwise you use it public, but it is better to use private than public, because your data remains safe, because nobody can access it. Yes.
Yeah.
So based on your where you are going to access it, based on that you define method name, class name, everything. Yes. For each loop. Yes. So whenever we define for each loop or any class, we have to have the main method. Yes. So light public static void main string args arguments. So in this method, main method, we will do some calendar exercise and it will find out the maximum minimum value. Okay, from the date. So
Yeah.
another way of listing array is like that. You list in this integer. Okay, so it will ask you to import the list. See, it will ask you integer list. So this is also array, but it is not array. This is a variable. So this is the name and this is the variable I have defined is list. Yes. And what we are doing, new array list. Yes. So this is the pre-built method we are going to use in here.
We just um,
Yes.
list integer. Instead of integer, if you write int, will it take it?
It is a different integer and integer. No, int and integer, they are different things, but
Oh,
they still stand for. But in this one, you are defining as integer. Okay. If you put int, that is a different thing, and integer is a different thing.
Okay.
Okay,
Can you repeat that step? Uh, List integer.
list integer. So this is your name type. Okay, this
Yeah.
is the array type, and this is the array list. Okay, so this is the variable. Instead of list, if I put Vinay, okay, this is
Yeah.
a variable. So okay, so here it will ask you to import. See, so you import. I was too early, so I'd ask you. It will ask yes, and it will ask you to import array list. If you don't import, then there will be error. Okay, so
Okay.
long number we are defining, and that is the start time. Okay, and then on another long number you have end time. Yes, for int. See now in here int I equals 0. I can't see even. This is the worst laptop I have. I less than, you define some value, so it will just say that much. Yes, I plus plus. What you are accessing in here, you are going to access this variable. So you put Vinay dot add. What it will add? Value of I. Yes. So just put I. So you, whatever you're defining, it will add this value. This is your method. Yes, one. Now you have two things in here, start time and end time. So you have to have defined, see how you get start time, remove start time and analysis, remove start time or fix it. Yes. So let's go and define a method for that. Start time. What is start time equal to? You are defining it. Calendar dot get, spell it wrong, that's fine. But get instance. So it will get instance from where? But get milliseconds time in milliseconds. So you can get time in millisecond. These are the pre-built stuff. Okay. Java.
Okay.
Okay. That's why it is automatically populating it. So if you want to learn from where, so if you go to Google and you put Java documentation, okay, in here you will have all this documentation. What database is, everything. If you go in here, you will find everything in there. Java database. Yes, you go in here, it will give you the details. Yes, so this is a list where you can find everything. Yes, integration, this Oracle doc website, but we don't need to go this much in detail. Yes, because we are a tester, not Java developer. If you know this much, we can be developer. So here we will use for loop. Okay, int I. What is I value? We have stored that I value in a variable called Vinay. Yes, we are storing this in Vinay and say int another variable you are using a equals I. So we are reassigning a equals I. So here we are giving the value of I, which is now a value. Yes. Now define the end time. Yes. How do you get end time? Exactly the same thing. So put end time, end time equals calendar dot get instance dot get time in milliseconds. Yes, and you want to print something sys out. What you want to put? Print end time, take away start time. Yes, and it will print you the time in microseconds. So let's put it there.
Brijesh, why did we replace integer a is equal to I?
Because we want start time and end time. Yes, so that's why we are replacing it. So it is exactly the same, but it will print in a two-way. We are using two variables, reassigning the same value to another. So in future, if we are going to use it down, okay, that's the reason. Yes, time. What it would be time? Time. How do you get the time? Yes, take away start time. Yes, and the start time, the time would be in ms. Yes, understood. Exactly the same thing we repeat for again start time. Okay, so I'm shall I copy it? No, just let me type it. Yes, quickly. Calendar dot get instance dot get time in micro milliseconds for int j equals 0. Exactly the same thing. Yes, Vinay. This one will get the size of your variable j plus plus. Now
What are we going to get it from the calendar?
we will get this time and it will print everything. So this will print the date and time. Int a equal to Vinay. But get j value, it will get the value of j. Okay, you can multiple time repeat it. Let's execute. This is not complete. Yes, so it is getting time in milliseconds. So current time. So you won't be able to see, but it will be that time. Yes. In here, if you put, let me execute it again. Yes. So that's done. Let's define again so you can have the full time.
So you're going to just print now.
Yes, that's it.
Print
We,
millis. Yeah, get rid of the millisecond and put a full time, right?
yeah, so it will give you the time in all the size. See, it is increasing. Yes. So now you will see why it is coming like this. But at the same time, it is moving. Yes, the time moves on it. That's why. If we complete it, it will give you the full date and time. So if you want to get date and time, you can use this kind of method to get the complete date and time. Okay, understood?
Get instance. Yeah, get. We are using these predefined functions. Get instance, right?
Yes.
So it's
This,
like an instant time, right?
yes, instant.
Do you think? Do you think we will be using this get things in the Selenium?
Get instance, you are going to use it because you will define some of the instances and you will use it in a BDD framework or hybrid framework. Okay.
Okay, what kind of instances will be using?
As for example, you have a class, yes, you define the variable in some of the classes, so you get the variable from that particular instance, the whole class detail.
Oh,
Yes. Any other question?
it can be from the public, right?
Can you repeat?
Getting instance, it should be in public, not in private.
Yes, yes, yes. So whenever you define any method, okay, in a project you will define them as public only. You will have some private as well, private methods, private variables. But if you define in public, then it becomes easy to access them. But the more and more you understand about Java, you will use it. Private, yes, public, all this accessible based on how you want to access it. I have everything in this package only, yes, but I have another package. What if I want to use one of the method in this package? Then if I have private, I won't be able to. Yes, this is the class. If I want to access this is another class, I won't be able to access it. Understood?
Yeah.
So this is the things we have to keep in mind. Otherwise, what happens? You won't be able to access it.
Yeah.
So let me complete it. So list, start time, end time, start time, end time. Yes.
Brijesh, can we be able to copy this coding onto the notepad?
Yes. So what would be the end time? Let me finish it. Yes. Calendar dot get instance dot get time in milliseconds system dot out dot println collection size. You are printing in here. What you are printing? Again, you are printing the same thing. Start time, end time. So let's copy the whole stuff. Yes, the collection size is 8. So it calculates it how big the collection is. If you re-execute it, says yes. So based on it counts the number and calculates it and adds it. This is the method. It gets the time, add it and gets the size. This is the time, your current time in microseconds, yeah, milliseconds. And then this is the size of this array. How big is this array? And it has calculated accordingly. Yes. So let me copy the whole code. Control A, Control C. I don't think you will use it, but I have covered it. But you need to practice it so you can get it. Let's move to another topic. Do you have any question?
No, Brijesh.
Okay, so let's discuss conditional statement. Do you remember any conditional statement?
If
Yes, conditional in Java. They are also known as
if else.
decision making. Yes, based
Yeah.
on conditions, you will make decision making in Java. So first is if. Yes. Next is if else.
Else.
There is another switch statement there. In the switch, you will use break, continue, and jump. You go from another. So let's discuss the syntax of if statement. You use this if statement every time. Yes. If you come to my house, I will help you. Yes.
Mm.
So if, what did I say? Condition, I have given condition. Yes. What will happen if you agree with the condition or if you follow the condition? This decision comes. So the statement, I will help you with your homework, execute if condition is true. Yes, it's true. Yes.
Yeah.
If this condition is true, this statement will be executed. If you come to my house, I will help you with coding. Yes. There can be two conditions as well. Yes. Before, if you go to another one, let's go to one of the examples. Yes. If so, if statement. Yeah. If this will have if statements only. Okay. If statement. What is? So as you have a class, directly define public static void main. Yes. String arguments. Yes. Int I equals 5. What is the value of I? 5. If here your condition comes, I is greater than some value 25, then do something. Yes.
Yeah.
Then say printed out something. I is less than 5. Yes. Otherwise, what will happen? If this condition is false, then you put if, not if, sys out outside if condition. Yes. So let's execute it and see what happens. Outside if condition. Agree? I is 25. No, I is value 5, and we are saying I is greater than 25, but it is not. Yes. So say 5 is less than. What if you put 35?
5 is less than.
What will happen here?
Print the statement.
This is a condition agreed, and that's why it didn't it executed, but it hasn't, because it's not greater. Yes. So this is your condition to agree. If you don't do, this has become something different. Yes. Let's go to the another condition. If condition. Yes. If else condition. What happens with if else condition? If else. So you have two statement. It is
Yep.
exactly the same thing. Okay. Whenever you are speaking, if you come to my house, I will help you. Yes. Am I right?
Yeah.
If you don't come to my house, it is understood. Yes. It is understood, but here we are saying it. So let's go to the syntax and we will clearly mention this time. Syntax. What is the syntax? If your condition what is the condition? If the condition is true, then your code will be executed. Okay.
Yeah.
Execute this block of code if condition is true.
True.
If it is false, what happens? It will execute else. ELSE. Else execute this code. Okay. Executes this block of code if condition is false. Yes. So let's give this condition. The same statement we will repeat it and it will execute it. So here define int I equals 5. Yes. If I is less than 10, then do something. Yes. Yes. System print this. So do it. You say I is smaller than 10. Yes. So let's see what happens. Is I smaller than 10? Yeah. So you say I smaller than it 10. If I is greater than 10, it will execute this statement. If I is greater than this, then these things happens. Yeah. So you say I is greater than 10. Yes.
Yeah.
Syntax error on token else. Delete this token. Okay, just remove this statement then directly. Yes. So let's execute this one, see what happens. It didn't state, it printed the first statement. Yes. So what you do in here, if I put I equals 15, then what it will do? It will print I is greater than 10. Yes. If I change it and put the value I equal to 2, what it will print? I is smaller than 10. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is your if statement. No, if else statement. Any question?
No.
First, you need to remember what conditions you want to execute. Okay, then you use them.
On what will be using more in the present live project?
You use this one.
If else.
Yes. You verify something. If something is not true, do this one.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is where your assert statement comes, and
Yeah.
it will print so you can see. Yes. Let's go to some nested if. Yes, the nested if is bit complicated. So what happens nested if? Nested if means you have two statements within one if statement. Yes. That statement is known as nested if. If you come to my house, I will help. What is that statement? If you come to my house, I will help. What statement it is?
If statement.
Normal if statement. Yeah, if statement. Normal if statement. But if I say, if you come to my house, if you come before 10 a.m., you will catch me. What statement it is?
If else.
Not if else. That is nested. You have two if
If
statement.
else.
Else is you put it on no, that another statement is stated clearly stated in no condition. Yes, but you can put it in Java. So if you say if you come to my house, but if you come before 10 o'clock, then you will do. As for example, you go to the office somewhere. Yes, you took the appointment, and you say if you come there, if you come to the office, if you come before 10 o'clock, you will be able to submit the form. Otherwise, you will miss the deadline. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is what nested if. So the syntax of the nested if. Syntax is if condition 1. What is your condition 1? What is your condition 1? If you come to my house, that is condition 1. Yes. So this got executes when condition 1 is true. Yes. What is another condition I have given you? If you come to my house before 10 a.m., you will catch me.
Yeah.
So this will get executed when condition 2 is true. Yes. Then close them. That's. Let's have an example. Okay. So you are giving two conditions. Do you want me to copy this one?
Yeah.
Nested if. Nested if, yes. Public static void main string arguments. Okay, what arguments you are passing in here? Int I equals 5. Okay. If I equals 5, you are comparing. Double equals means there is a comparison, that is the correct equal to. Yes.
Yeah.
Or in Java, only one single is used to assign the value. Here equals is comparison. I will cover operands after this. tomorrow I will go to the operands how you can use it. Okay.
Oh,
I less than 15. If I less than 15, what happens? It will print I is smaller than 15. Yes. Now you have another condition. What another condition? Let's put if. Again you put if I is less than 8. Let's say 5. Yes. Then what it will do? Execute this statement. What statement? I is smaller than 8.
so in nested if
Else.
use as many times as we need if statements.
Yes. Yes. I haven't used nested if actually in any of my project. Yes. So what it will print if you execute this code? It will print two statement I smaller than 15 and I is smaller than 8. Yes. What is
Yes.
the actual value of I?
5
5. What if I do 25? What it will print?
else statement.
Okay,
Else
let's do.
statement.
I is greater than 15. Yes. Understood? Because I is actually greater than, so this condition is false. The first condition is false. Yes. I is not less than, I is greater than. So it did not print it, and this why it printed the else statement only. Any
Yeah.
question?
No.
Okay, let's stop it here today then. Yes.